there is only one formula to create wealth in the long run. Sound investment plus time plus patience. If you remove any one of these three, you won't create wealth in the long run. You can be one of those 90% who lose money in options. You can be one of those 10 crores who have lost money in crypto. And you can be several of the others who couldn't create wealth by investing 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 rupees per month. अगर मैं हिंदी करूँ यहाँ पे there are only few people from I met somebody from Faridabad and all. सही निवेश plus समय, actually धैर्य होना चाहिए patience, but just to create an acronym from संयम.
Thank you. You mentioned about Amrit Kal, and our finance minister also mentioned about that in the budget. So some questions on the budget. The government actually is spending about 10 lakh crores on the budget. Plus they have a grant of about 3.8 lakh crores and an IBR of about 2.6. Totally it comes around 16 lakh plus. And this is a huge amount considering the size of the budget, which is only 45 lakh crores. So how do you see that this translating into a GDP?
You are saying it's a huge budget, 45 lakh crores. But India's budget is one of the smallest budget in the world as a percentage of GDP. I mean, a central government plus state government put together are less than 1/3 of the GDP. But if you compare with most of the other countries, some of the European countries would be as high as 50 or 60% of the GDP, because India's tax to GDP ratio itself is very low. I mean, central government is just kind of inching towards 11%. Over a period of time, with formalization of economy, digitalization of the economy, and simplification of tax structure, over a period of time, as tax to GDP increases, government will have more money at its disposal to invest in physical infrastructure and social infrastructure. But credit to the government in last few years, you rightly said that the quality of expenditure has continuously been improving. I think the revenue expenditure as a percentage of GDP was at a multi-year low this year, and capital expenditure as percentage of GDP is at a multi-year high this year, which I think is credit to the finance minister. I mean, budget, I'll just say three words. It was credible, it had continuity, and it had conviction. Credible in terms of budget math. I think continuity in terms of structural reforms on the path of fiscal consolidation, so on and so forth. And conviction that while world may have various challenges, I think India has got a conviction that this time is ours and we need to make the most of it over the next 25 years. So, and the finance minister started by saying that, I mean, this is the first budget of the Amrit Kal. So I think we are thinking very differently than what most of the other policymakers in the world are thinking. So I would say that I'll give a lot of credit to that conviction which was there in the budget.
Thank you. Normally there is a lag between capex expenditure to conversion to GDP. What is the normal lag time?
So I mean, if you look at our economy, like 2/3 is consumption by and large, roughly 1/3 is investment. Within that, the three people who make investment are government, corporates, and household. I think the government has been, as I said, has been trying its best to kickstart the investment cycle by investing in infrastructure, trying to put more cash in the hands of corporate sector by reducing the corporate tax so that they can invest more and creating a conducive environment for the investments. I think in the household sector, the real estate cycle had just started, maybe with rising interest rates, it impacts a little bit, but that's where households invest the most. I think we are in a new cycle. Corporate capex is where there is a lot of hope. I think numbers are not as high as in the previous presentation you saw that, but we feel very confident that looking at the global geopolitical environment where supply chain is likely to shift to a lot of other countries, including India, will make the most of it. I think the PLI, which can also lead to a lot of investments. Plus, I think variety of other things that are happening. I think the whole transition on decarbonization of the economy, whether it's a renewable energy, whether on the transportation and various other things, even automation. I think almost every manufacturing unit will have to invest a lot more going forward in automation. So all of these, I think, over a period of time, should lead to higher capex from the corporate sector. I think when the balance sheets are a lot cleaner of the corporate sector, as capacity utilization increases, they will look at more capex, and I think the banking sector is in a good shape to support that capex momentum.
Thank you. Can we say that PLI to manufacturing is akin to GST to tax reforms?
I think so. PLI is just one of the component, but variety of other things, the 13, 14 industries where it has already been done. There are few where the results have been pretty good, particularly in electronics. I think I'm sure you'll hear from Mr. Sudhanshu, you'll hear about the railways. The defense is another very big opportunity for India. So apart from the PLI, variety of other opportunities which are there. For the manufacturing, what do you need? I think you need like a cheaper and reliable power supply. I think we have continuously been moving towards that. You need like cheaper and reliable, efficient logistics. All the investments in roads, railways, ports, airports over a period of time will bring down the logistics cost, which is very important if you want to be a manufacturing superpower. I think a cheaper cost of capital and of course quality of labor. So India will be one of those countries where incremental labor supply over the next several years would be there. China has already peaked in terms of their population. This will be the first year where China is seeing a decline in population. India has a demographic dividend for next several years. So with all of that, and we also are a large domestic market. So for any large global organization, manufacturing in India is not only about exporting to other countries, but also catering to a large domestic market. And that's an added, I would say, impetus for any global MNC to do a lot more manufacturing here.
Suddenly, this number 100 seems to be very fascinating. India at 100, 2047. You also mentioned about that 8x growth in GDP, right? And we also saw Pujara playing his 100 test, Ashwin taking 100 wickets, and Leon also taking 100. Then the next one is MF at 100. So where do you see and how do you help us to achieve that?
100 is not too high, right? So we were, several of us have been in the industry for long. We touched 1 lakh crore in 2002 as an industry. We touched 6 lakh crore in 2012, and we were 36 lakh crore last year. So 1 to 6 to 36 was 6x and then 6x. You just do a simple math. And that time mutual fund Sahi Hai wasn't there. Digitalization wasn't like this. Various other things. I think that all of us put together as ecosystem we have put together wasn't there. So logically it should take less than 10 years this time for it to grow to 6x. But joy is not really reaching any number. The joy is creating wealth for as many households, as many Indians as possible. At our end, we have created a mission for ourselves to be the wealth creator for every Indian. So how many households we are able to reach out to spread the message of mutual fund Sahi Hai, create that SIP and create wealth for them. I think that will be the lot bigger joy than I think any of those numbers. They would be the byproduct. I think just tell you about the B30, how much it has grown. I think it was just 9% in 2012. Is 17% now. Incrementally, almost 60%, more than close to two-thirds of the new SIP in terms of count, not in terms of number, come from the B30. But is it like we have to expand only in B30? We haven't exhausted T30.
It would be 100.
I mean, Chennai's population is more than what, 6 million? Yeah. With $12,000-13,000 per capita. But if you look at the SIP size and the number of SIP account in Chennai, there is so much potential in this 20-kilometer area for next several years, and which is the case with almost every city in India as well. I think we haven't really penetrated as much. So that's the opportunity for everyone.
I'll close with my last question. I'm a fan of your writing, your Person of the Year. Last year, a Person of the Year was regenerative AI. Now it is too short. I know you may not answer this question. In the 2 months' time, who will be your Person of the Year? Is it Finance Minister?
As of now, I have been sitting in this room. I can say this galaxy of stars who are sitting. So you are not only the Person of the Year, but you have been Person of the Decade of last 2 decades to take where the industry has reached and where the country has reached. So thank you so much.
Thank you.